Hi guys, and welcome back to another G-Star Vault. I am really sorry I didn't get to wish you all a Merry Christmas, but I can wish you a Happy New Year because 2022 is here. Hope you guys all had a really good festive period and your 2022 New Year is going well so far. I just want to do a quick thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel and the videos lately, especially the WTF massive Bigfoot support for that has been amazing. So thank you so much. So let's get this kicked off with a little bit of a news flash. So, newsflash, New Year's resolutions. Usually I don't believe in them, not something that I usually buy into, but I do have one this year, and that's all about G-Star Vault. I am going to pledge, and I'm going to try to make sure that I am recording a new vault every week on a Tuesday. So I'll upload it either late on a Tuesday or first thing on a Wednesday. So hopefully we should have a G-Star Vault coming to you every single week, covering subjects like Sasquatch and Bigfoot, UFO and UAP footage, ghosts, time travel, anything that we feature here on G-Star Vault and on the Monty Zone and on this channel. So on that subject, please do not forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Really appreciate the support that you guys are giving to the channel. So please keep that up and please subscribe if you haven't done so far. What's this episode all about? Well, it's a bit of a strange one for me. It's a bit of a departure. I'm not really getting some footage and analysing and sharing that footage with you. However, I do want to talk about a particular subject. And this subject is going to be on the subject of the UFO phenomenon or the UAP phenomenon. And it's something that I just really want to put out there to our audience, because sometimes when I'm viewing the content that I see on the internet or on social media, and I see how the world and people out there are reacting to it, sometimes I do get a little bit frustrated, because I do, here on this channel, myself, Monty, everybody involved with the channel is quite open-minded skeptics. So we really want to believe in the content that we're covering. However, we also accept that it really needs to be analysed with a subjective kind of viewpoint and really look at the evidence. And I just feel that sometimes out there, people are not doing that, and they're just jumping to the initial explanation of the title of the video, etc, etc. So what I'm going to share with you is some stuff that I've been looking at recently that really should make people think a little bit more, because one of the most popular elements within the UFO phenomenon is sort of light orbs and obviously lights in the sky. And here on G-Star Vault, we use a system called, and it's quite a basic system, but it's a good one, and it's called ACAR, and that is all about, it's an abbreviation, it's all about looking at the other aerial phenomenon options that footage could be. Then it's looking at whether it could be CGI. Then it looks at the other A is the sort of audio. What's the audio telling us? Does the audio seem genuine? And then you have R for reaction, which is all about how are the stimulus in the environment or the people in the environment reacting to what's being seen. Then the T stands for, is there a time and date? Do we have a location? Can we match that by looking at that location without the thing that we're seeing in the footage? And then the S is one that a viewer added, which is called similar. And then we look at other footage that may be similar. And sometimes that flips us back to CGI as well, because with a lot of certainly amateur CGI, there's a lot of known programs out there. For example, one that you can really hone in on is when you see all these UFOs around the moon, and people show you a shot of the moon and zoom in on it, and then you can see little craft flying around on the moon. That is a really popular basic amateur CGI software program that you can get. So you see a lot of that kicking around on the internet. And so what I wanted to cover on this show is just to share with you some of the, now some of you will obviously be aware of this. This isn't going to be new information, but I think for those out there who aren't really keeping up to date with things, this will be a really good share. And it's just about drone technology, really, and why we need to really look at everything that we see from a UAP, UFO footage, certainly in the sky, certainly in night sky. We need to look at it more subjectively. And so right now I'm going to start playing you some footage of some amazing stuff that can be done with drones now. And, you know, for some of you, this might shock you, and it also might make you think, well, you know, I do need to think about, when I'm looking at footage a little bit more, could that easily be a drone? Because in a lot of the comments that you see of footage that's shared online, you will see the odd person say, well, it could just be a drone. And then a lot of people beat people down for saying that, when actual fact that there's probably a good reason why a lot of people are saying that. So check some of this footage out quickly. To get started then, obviously the footage examples that I've shared, they're on the screen at the moment, they're created by very large professional companies, and it's very costly. And, you know, but like everything in society, where that exists, there's more amateur level of it. And there's people out there now who are amateurs that are interested in either, you know, just the use of drones or drone photography, who have like 6 or 10 of these drones now. And where in these displays you can see them doing intricate formations, you know, these guys have probably got access to formations that are a little bit more basic, but still formations where, you know, you can have the drone lit up and slowly going up and coming down, and, you know, you can have several of them doing the same thing or at different times, or you can have, you know, 3 or 4 of them where one appears, the light comes on, then the next one, then the next one, and it can create an image in your mind that makes you think of a triangle or something like that. So, you know, it would go a long way to explain a lot of the footage out there and the increase in sightings as well, because it is quite prolific now, the number of people who record and film UFO sightings, or what they believe to be UFO sightings. Now don't think for 1 minute that what I'm saying is that all footage out there can be easily explained away by drones, but like I was saying at the top of the video, what we need to be is a little bit more subjective and think about whether it could or couldn't be a drone, which is often what we do. But I think you have to go into it deeper now, seeing what is out there and just how technologically advanced these drones are getting and what can be done with them. And that also brought me on to a really other line of avenue of or thought, and that was that with the recent released footage from the Pentagon in the States, all this declassified footage that was filmed by military sources and naval ships of UFO footage, etc. It got me thinking about what may exist out there in the private sector that the military of this world, governments, etc., wouldn't be aware of, because there's a lot of privatization in science, right now, with things like SpaceX and Virgin and that exploration in space becoming privatized now. You can imagine that there's a lot of invention and a lot of creation of things that are happening that maybe even those specific parties in the military and engineering in the military aren't even aware of it, or haven't come to those conclusions or those creations, and that's why they can't explain it. So that those US military are being honest and saying, well, we don't know what this is, but that's because it's some company or some individual in the private sector that's actually created something that isn't known to official sources and to the military, etc. And that would again explain an increase in sightings and the whole phenomena itself. But again, I am an open-minded skeptic, so I don't wholeheartedly believe that, but I do think it goes, it just draws me back to that thing that we just need to be a little bit more careful and be a little bit more open-minded both ways when we're looking at content and we're looking at footage. And I hope that's what we kind of achieve here on G-Star Vault. But it makes me, everything that we're talking about in this episode makes me go back and think about some footage that we were looking at recently on a G-Star Vault. I think it was episode 10, where, if I was to look at that now, I might go as far as saying, well, that footage could have easily been one of these companies practicing a drone display in a foggy night, and where it was filmed from was really off in the distance, so therefore it just looked like blurred colours in the skyline. But who knows? This is the interesting thing, and why, you have to keep coming back to these things and back to this phenomenon. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of UFO versus drone, and hopefully you'll have a different take on looking at footage in the future. Join me next week for the next installment of G-Star Vault. I forgot to mention at the top of the video that one of the other new features coming to G-Star Vault is that I'm going to be doing episodes which are more of a story episode, and they will be stories of unexplained phenomena. It will be nice stories to kind of get us into that really creative, wondrous mind, but also hopefully quite calming and relaxing as well. So hopefully you can join me for some of them in the future. But I will definitely be back next week with a new installment of G-Star Vault. Who knows what it will be? You'll have to tune in and find out. So make sure again that you have liked and subscribed. And one last thing is, we are really looking for people to share footage with us, or any content that they find, whether they filmed it themselves or seen it from another source. But please, go onto our Facebook site. The link for that is in the description below, and share away that footage with us. It doesn't matter what kind of phenomenon it's from, whether it's Bigfoot, UFOs, or something that sort of explains time travel, or anything like that would be amazing. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week.